Velma wants to make you mad.
You what?
And you shouldn't let it. Why? Because Velma is pushing an agenda. But to understand the agenda, we have to discuss how it sparked outrage all across the internet. Firstly, Velma deviates from the original concept of the Scooby Doo franchise. The show aims to parody the original show and provide a more mature and socially conscious take on the characters, focusing on commentary about issues such as the state of America, racial divide, and privilege. However, this shift in tone and subject matter alienated fans of the original series who were drawn to the campy and lighthearted nature of the show.
Glad he's frozen in there and that we're out here and that he's the sheriff and that we're frozen out here and that we're in there and I just remembered we're out here. What I want to know is where's the caveman?
Let's not get it twisted though. The writer of the show, Mindy Kaling, is not an idiot, and I'm pretty damn sure she's watched the original show. Literally in the first few seconds to minutes of the show, it narrates how the pilot of the show always has more nudity and sexual action than the rest of the series, while showcasing naked high school girls taking a shower, showcasing everything except their nipples and vagina. Hell, Velma's stepmom takes off all of her clothes and poses while pregnant. The show also realizes how they're alienating more fans and causing more outrage by changing Shaggy, Velma's, and Daphne's ethnicity. And another potential reason for fan alienation is the fact that the original series Scooby Doo was primarily targeted towards children.
When a garrison of Spanish conquistadors mysteriously vanished from the harbor.
Oh, that is so scary. Where did they go?
What part of the word mystery didn't you understand?
The humor and mystery-solving elements were simple and easy to understand, making it a beloved show for many young viewers. The new series Velma, on the other hand, aims to tackle more complex and controversial issues in an attempt to parody the situations that we find in real life, which doesn't resonate with fans who are expecting a similar type of content as the original series. The new series Velma has a more ambiguous premise, focusing on commentary about societal issues, parodying the current social issues in an attempt to make it more palatable to today's generation, and also redefining the characters in this new show. These changes have shocked a lot of people online and have made it harder for fans to understand, relate to, or enjoy Velma. The complexity and ambiguity of the show has not appealed to any fans so far who enjoyed the simplicity and timelessness of the original series. Another reason why fans are alienated is that the original series had a clear-cut premise in which the Mystery Inc. gang solved supernatural mysteries and unmasked fraudulent criminals, and throughout all the depictions and spin-offs, always stick to the dynamics of the characters intact. Scooby Doo is the mascot, Shaggy is the hippie coward with the munchies, all-powerful multiversal god, Freddy.
You know, throughout the years, a lot of people have asked me, Fred, why the scarf? And I always tell them the same thing. Why don't you mind your own business, pal? I'm a cartoon star. I have more people telling me what I want to wear. So don't be afraid to express your true self. And remember, fashion first.
Is the fashionable, fearless himbo leader who has good intentions like Kronk.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Daphne is the beautiful airhead with an obvious crush on Fred.
The date didn't really get off to a great start.
I loved you in that mermaid movie.
I actually get that a lot, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
Wow, she was good in it.
So he takes me to a restaurant, a fast food restaurant.
And something for the lady? I had coupons!
Right, Ed had coupons, so, there is that.
Oh yeah, I love Double D. Double D is the best.
His constant talking about Double D made me a little uncomfortable. How am I supposed to compete with that?
Well, Daphne, this is the end of the date.
He tried to kiss me, I guess, but a girl's gotta draw the line at a blue tongue. I was willing to meet him halfway with the monobrow, but ugh.
And finally, Velma is the nerdy brains of the group.
My hair has been stuck in the Stone Age.
Jinkies, my hair doesn't move. My hair doesn't feel free. I don't feel free.
Well, that's all changed now. Now my hair has hold, but I can still run my fingers through it.
It's looser. It's lighter.
My hair moves. Oh, I feel pretty.
Talk about yabba dabba do.
I've been searching for a way to end the mystery of beautiful hair. Mystery solved.
Meanwhile, on the show, Fred is a vain, privileged idiot with no charm or ambition other than daddy issues. Daphne is a stereotypical queen bee boss girl. And Shaggy is a simp who is thirsting real bad for Velma, who is canonically called ugly and hairy. Blasphemy. Moreover, the show has been absolutely ripped apart on Twitter and on the internet for not staying true to the original characters and the universe. Fans have argued that the creators are not staying true to the spirit of the original series and that the new series is a completely different show that betrays the original series and is an obvious cash grab, masking around in the Scooby Doo IP in order to sell a more original idea, which wouldn't have been able to be popular on its own, which caused fans to see through this, feel alienated, and vilify the show, rightfully so. However, I can guarantee this is a 100% intentional plan on the part of studio producer Mindy Kaling. She understands that fan outrage over the misrepresentation of the franchise in order to get more people talking about the show. You see, the show is taking on the same tactic that controversial television shows like Family Guy and Big Mouth use in order to extend their shelf life and develop a hardcore audience. You see, the thing with selling outrage is that it's simple. You rile up the internet and get an overwhelming amount of people angry. However, just like making any brand, you only need 1% of the people who hear about your product through social media only to check the show out for themselves, only to conclude that the hate is over-exaggerated, which radicalizes them into die-hard fans of the show. This method has become super prevalent now that social media has become a practically basic need for our society to function. You see it all the time with Andrew Tate fans, Trump fans, by Warner Brothers, that this is an unexcusable depiction of our Lord Shaggy. Simple. We just simply don't talk about the show anymore. But at the same time, by not keeping up with the show, we risk not being in the know when it does something outrageous, like making Velma twerk on screen like She-Hulk. Side note, I truly believe twerking on screen is what She-Hulk would have done if she was an actual character. However, how it was executed was god-awful because she was twerking with an actual star from the real world. And you sit here with the knowledge, man, someone sat there for hours animating the She-Hulk booty, and it gets me every time the more I think about it. And so someone is over here doing the same thing with Velma twerking, and you have to sit there like, wow, they have to draw that frame by frame and then color it, and then they just look at it and think, yep, I animated their butts for hours and it looks good. Oh goodness gracious, okay, back to regular scheduling. So I'll tell you what, you hit that like and subscribe button and I'll keep you updated on everything that the show does. Deal? Deal. Honestly, I've watched both episodes of Velma and they're honestly okay. Not a lot of the jokes land, but honestly, other than parading the skin of a beloved franchise and wearing it as their own to sell a more original idea, the show is kind of just average. The animation is actually done well with its own distinct art style, while the writing is kind of just all right at best. The new animated comedy series, Velma, just aims to provide a more mature and socially conscious take on the characters. But in doing so, it just massively alienates the fans of the original series due to its shift in tone and subject matter, with a massive deviation from the clear-cut premise of the original series, add on the complexity and ambiguity of the new series, and butchering the original characters and universe by exploitation, and you've got a recipe for outrage, which the writers of the show are banking on in order to keep people talking, which would convince HBO Max to fund them for another series. And you can also tell there's this weird passive-aggressive hate towards adults who watch cartoons, but at the same time there's blood and gore in this show, so it makes one wonder, who's the show really built for? I imagine it's more of an inside joke between the producer and the writers, who obviously just don't like Scooby Doo. They hate the series, but they also wanted to create their own series, but then they also realized that in order to create their own series, they're going to have to take on a new IP, because that's the only thing that sells nowadays. And so they just chose Scooby Doo because they hated it so much and they wanted to parade in the skin of it so badly in order to just make everybody mad, just like Rian Johnson did with The Last Jedi.